Losing is very important in life. It helps you grow as a person, and in Vanguard, it helps you grow as a player. In today's video, I want to discuss the value of losing and how it can change you for future games. What's up, you guys, and welcome back to the Prime Vanguard channel. I hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. But before I can get to today's video, I have to get through my quick disclaimer. If you guys enjoy seeing content such as this, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow. And also share your thoughts about this in the comment section with me. I'm very curious on how we can get a discussion going, especially about today's topic, which is personally important to me. With that being said, I want to hop right into this. I've been playing Vanguard since the game came out. I've grown from a teenager who's played the game to a young adult that is now playing the game. I started playing when I was about 13. I'm now 21. And I have definitely, within the last 2 years, taken the game a lot more seriously and have learned the value of losing. And I wish this was a lesson that I learned when I was younger. Losing happens to everybody. No player, no matter how good they are, if they're the world best or if they're not that good at all or casual, losing happens to everyone. It is so important to lose in life, especially in games or sports, because understanding why you lost, understanding the feeling that comes with losing does not feel good. And it motivates you to create new strategies, become more inventive towards your deck building, and it affects the way you see your matches so that this way you change your mentality as a player to get even better. I think that when people lose so much in the game, it kind of takes away the fun aspect of it. If you've never had that feeling of victory and you never understood the benefits of winning in a serious match or a tournament match and how good that makes you feel, then there isn't something you can ever obtain or achieve. Because I definitely have had that feeling before. I've definitely lost a lot. When I played Yu-Gi-Oh! As a kid and I went to my first ever tournament, nobody showed me any mercy. I had this like random deck of 1-2 card combos. You know, it was my first Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament. I didn't know anything about like combo strategies and doing chain links and all that. But when I lost my first tournament ever in Yu-Gi-Oh! The one thing it taught me after my dad, because my dad used to come with me to my games and actually sit there the whole time and watch. He didn't understand what's happening, but he knew when I was losing, when I would get frustrated. The one thing I learned from him, and the one thing that he taught me, was the fact that it's not the fact that you lost. The real loss is that you walked away from that game without understanding what was going on. And that is something that lately in life has been coming back to me, because I've played so much Vanguard and I play so many matches casually that I think to myself when I lose, like, oh, it was just for fun. But now that I've been taking Vanguard a lot more seriously within the last year, when I lose now, I sit there and I contemplate and I think, why did I lose? What did I do wrong? What steps could I have taken to have done better? What steps did my opponent take to win the game that they did? How did they perform optimally? What mistakes did they made that I could have exploited to take advantage of so that I could have won? These are all things that now I sit back and I think of a lot more. And it's very important that you as a player, no matter what your level is, whether you're a novice or a pro, is very important that you always hold on to that. When you lose, it's not about what cards they play, it's about what was your mentality up here. Everything comes down to mentality. The cards are a tool. That's something I have accepted and something I truly believe in. I can build my deck any way I want to, but I understand the optimal pieces of the card pool I have, and I understand how every piece should be utilized as a tool. I understand the value of what one card can do that can enable another card to work better, and how you can get complete synchronization throughout your entire deck. And that's a lot harder to do mentally speaking, because it's way easier for people to say, oh, this deck is bad, C tier deck, not good, these 3 decks are the only best decks, don't play nothing else, you lost because my deck is meta, your deck is not. Whatever excuse people come up with when it comes to deck building, it's very important to realize that your deck is a tool and it's only as sharp as you make it, or it's only as functional as you allow it to be. If you don't have it to be, if you don't practice with the tool, if you don't understand what the pieces you have or what it does, then yes, you are going to fail a lot. You are going to win some games. Most definitely. I can most definitely hop online right now, copy one of the best decks, and probably steal a few games. But in the matchups where I play against someone who actually understands what my deck does more than what I do, I'm setting myself up for failure because I do not understand what my pieces do. I only need to understand the simplicity of what the deck wants to do. That is something that you as a player have to mature into and accept. And it's very important that you learn this lesson earlier than later, because you can probably become more successful at it when you learn it earlier than obviously later. Understanding the value of every single card that you have and making sure that every piece in your deck matters is very important. But you have to understand that your opponent has the same mentality whenever they approach a matchup as well, because this is a competitive game. And anything that's competitive is always two mentalities going against it to achieve the result of victory. Sometimes when you lose, it's not your fault. Your opponent could have just played their deck to the best of its abilities, the same way you played your deck to the best of its abilities. It's always about what's going on and understanding what's happening so that you can change the results of the game. If you want to get better, you want to understand what you're playing against and know your matchups. Understanding what's the very best thing or the best outcome that their deck can do or how their deck can operate is a good thing to learn. Learning your deck is important too. Understanding what all of your cards do and how they synergize with another piece is very important. I think it's more important to actually understand the cards individually and understand your deck versus your opponent's deck and what everything they can do. The matchup is important, don't get me wrong. But if I ever go into a matchup and I play a deck and I look at the pieces of the deck and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I don't know how this works with this, but I've seen it together, and my opponent has to explain it to me, not only personally for me is that embarrassing, but that automatically gives your opponent power over you, because now they're aware that you don't understand what your cards do and the value that they have. You never want to approach a matchup like this. You always want to approach the matchup with your deck and understanding every single best thing your deck can do and how it can recover from any situation. And it's the same thing for your opponent's deck. You also want to understand the very best thing that deck can do and how it can recover, so that this way you can exploit the opportunities and weakness of the deck so that you can take the best chance at victory. Learning about others and not just focusing entirely on yourself is a very important fact that I have learned about winning. Another thing that's important about losing that I've realized very recently, because I am older now, but I didn't realize I lost it until it actually happened to me, is the importance of having fun in a match. I think that we get so caught up in playing the game and doing everything we can to win that we don't actually enjoy ourselves. I love Vanguard because it's a creative outlet for me. I love the combinations of cards. Deck building is probably my most favorite aspect of Vanguard. I like to sit there and take notes and think about how this card can work with these other three cards and the cool combos I can come up with. That is the joy that Vanguard gives me. It's a creative outlet and it's a discussion starter, and you know, there's a community already in it. That is the most fun part about Vanguard for me, or any card game that in that matter, or TCG esports community. There's a community there, and there's always a way to grow and improve, and yes, there are some decks that do reach their pinnacle and there's only so far you can go with it, but working your way up so you get to that point of the best of what this deck can do is a lot of fun for me personally. I have so many decks on my channel that I've played more than once, and I've changed them a lot. And there are definitely some decks that I haven't showcased on my channel that I still play that you wouldn't believe I'm playing, but my mentality and approach towards them now versus when I was playing them when they first came out is so different because of how much time I invested into them. My Dontarian video, or my Dontarian deck profile, I can tell you right now, I invested so much time into that deck that every time I talk about Dontarian, after losing as much as I did with it, and when I started taking dubs with it, I can tell you everything that happened in that matchup, what I did wrong, and what changes can be made to make the deck even better. Because I lost with it, I reflected how I lost, what my opponent did, I accepted it, and I've changed my mentality on how I approached Dontarian entirely because my mentality as the player has changed. I'm no longer blaming my losses on my cards. My losses come from what my opponent was doing, what I was doing, and just the way that I reacted towards the situation. And that is such a powerful thing to accept when you've been playing the game for so long, because Now you as the player have full control over your mind state and how you play your matches. Now it's no longer about me just slapping down the cards and getting the combo going so I can do X, Y, and Z just to win. Now it's I can approach any game with the deck that I have, and even if I don't know the matchup, I understand everything that my deck does, so I can do everything in my power to adapt to the matchup while I'm playing. And this is a lesson that I wish I learned when I was younger, but I'm glad I'm learning it now because it's really helped me come far when it comes to playing Vanguard. Because before, I really was on the verge of like giving up the game. I don't lie about anything. I have no accomplishments in Vanguard. I've never won a regional, ARG, BCS, or nationals. BRO. I've never won any of those, but I won some locals at the time. However, I can't give up on this game. This game is so important to me, and the value of losing that it's taught me is something that lately I've been paying more attention to and have more consideration for because I just want to be better. And that's the mentality you should have when you approach any game, is to have fun. When you lose or win, reflect from that and accept it and keep on card fighting and just learn from your mistakes. That's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me throughout it. I'll see y'all soon. Peace.